professors, and especially this is majority of people are professors community. So I'm very privileged to be talking on this relationship in education. And I also congratulate Her Excellency for organizing and giving me opportunity for such a wonderful topic in International Transformational Leadership Conference. So keeping the time given by Her Excellency, I will start. So this it is said that one book, one pen, one child, and one teacher can change the world, and it is right because you see the quality of the relationship between teacher and student. There are not only 100 or 200. There are thousands of stories, folklore stories, and Ramayana, Mahabharata, and all, where teachers has transformed the people's ordinary peoples into transformative leaders, which they could not have achieved. So it is said that a mediocre teacher tells, a good teacher explains, a superior teacher demonstrates, and a great teacher inspires. Now, how he inspires? The key to inspiration is, of course, the relationship. And if you ask me how this relationship is built, I will say the crux of all relationship is trust. If the trust is there between teacher and student, everything practically is possible. I would like to quote from the example of legendary president of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He died giving, and people were so much into relationship, so much can relate to him. He died giving lectures to the student, and still his words are a war cry for most of the students in that age, those who have been illuminated by him. So, how this trust is built? The first thing is, as I'll again quote Professor Behreen. She said, first of all, it is all about the self, harmony in self. If the teacher has harmony in self, if he is a role model to others, if he practices what he preaches, then definitely students will find consistency is in his behavior, and they are going to trust him. If the teacher is not discriminating, he is equal in punishment and reward, whether verbal or anything, to everyone, people are going to find trust in him, and that's how relationship develops. That's how a teacher's word will have more power. The type of whatever word, whether it is ordinary or is spoke very flowery English, it will have impact. The tragedy is most of the time this relationship lacks because either we do not practice what we preach, or we teach in a very sophisticated way just to show our intellect, because knowledge also has arrogance. So one has to go down to the level of the student. And as per the latest psychology researches, there are three kind of students: one who's quite receptive to auditory speeches, another who's quite good with visuals, and third whom you have to involve in the activity, workshop, training, etc. So try, if you want this relationship to be strong, try to put on your communication or the message in the way, being a mentor, in the way which most suits to your student. So have self-reflection. I mean, every teacher should have self-reflection, and based on self-reflection, he should notice whether it is his own arrogance or narcissism, because of which he is not allowing the students to speak or making them belittle or subservient, or he is equally treating everyone at par, whether his words and action are same, whether there is a definiteness in his behavior. If that is there, the trust is bound to be infused. So the cornerstone of any relationship is trust. So in education, trust between teachers and students create a safe space for learning. It encourages risk taking and honest sharing of ideas. Till the time student is afraid of judgment, oh my God, what will teacher or what will others think, they won't be able to connect, or they won't be energized to speak up their minds. So that fear of judgment should be taken away by being friendly. The student should, after having trust, the student should see you as a father figure or uncle or a brother. Then he won't have that fear of being judged or punished or all. So teachers, by being consistent and fair, you lay the groundwork for trust. And students, for the students, when you engage with integrity, you will reinforce this trust. So classroom is where trust thrives, and classroom is where all the transformation and relationship actually transforms people's life. The next thing about relationship in education is communication. So communication is the bridge of understanding. So communication is the bridge that connects diverse minds. Effective communication in education means more than just conveying information. The feeling and emotion must also pass. And that's why the relationship of a teacher with his own self is more important. If his vessel is empty, he cannot pour from the empty vessel. If he is full of gratitude, if he is full of peace, if he is full of empathy, if he is full of giving, then whatever, along with the information, the feeling and emotions will also pass, which our students will be more able to relate. So it's about understanding the unique perspectives and needs of each individual. Educators listen actively and speak clearly. That is the message. So for the students, one should express your thoughts and question without fear. It's through this two-way street of dialogue that true understanding is reached. The next thing is empathy. Empathy is not only a poetic word. Empathetic communication means the teacher and student both should be sensitive to each other's high and low. And every student is not alert at the same time. There are times when your words have a special impact. If a person is annoying, if a person is bullying, if a person has suicidal tendencies, see when he is receptive. When the soil is wet, then if you sow the seed, then there are more chances it will bloom. So the communication has to be empathetic and see for the right time to convey your words so that it creates right impact. Being a teacher, have patience. Just hold on. Because if we are lacking patience, then how can we expect our students not to take any adverse or reactive incidents? So we should be the role model of response orientedness. We should be the icon of patience so that students also learn from us, because more than our words, our action are more exemplary to our student. There is a story. If a father wants his son to be honest, and all of a sudden a call comes from his office, and a father says to his son, tell that papa is not at home, then what message the student will have? So one should practice what one preaches if they want the student or the son or their daughters or son to relate to them and follow whatever they practice or preach. And then there comes a mutual respect, the fabric of educational relationship. So respect is the fabric that holds the tapestry of educational relationship together. It's not just about manners, it's about valuing each other's contributions and existence in the learning space. It's all about unconditional positive regard. Even despite having differences, you still are holding hand, you still are respecting that person. So this reciprocity only leads to universal brotherhood. And of course, it can be the big thing for relationship development in education. I see in the exemplary Yes You Can international transformation leadership, I see Her Excellency greeting everyone, despite which, her approach is more inclusive. So I would say this kind of a communication is more fruitful and inclusive, and the message is very clear. People will be able to relate because she respects everyone, and she gives respects a lot of good words, Her Excellency, Ambassador. You see the gratitude. So I think this kind of thing, equally in education, can bring about transformation. So I would say the wisdom of relationship in education lies in trust, communication, empathy, and respect. So these are not just abstract concepts, but practical tools that, when widely with care, it can transform the educational experience. So let us nurture these relationships, for they are the bedrock upon which the future of education and indeed our future leaders will stand. And last, I would just convey that the role of any leader is not to create followers. The role of leader is to create better and more efficient leader than him. And that comes by empowering the students. That comes by being their followers. That comes by being surprising and clapping. And, just for a teacher, just calling the name of the student is enough to empower him. It's going to make his day. This isolation which we see, the reactive things, blindfolded gunning by the school students, or knife attacks and all, is out of frustration, because mother and father are only giving money and no time. I've seen one of my students writing, my father is an ATM machine. Father only gives a lot of money and no time. So the place and if the students need, sometimes they are correct, we are wrong, but we are so arrogant and our bowl is so full of arrogance and arrogance of knowledge, arrogance of money or post, that we consider they don't know anything in front of us. Listen to them. Sometimes they have a message to say. Sometimes you can be being a teacher, you can compensate for what they are not getting at home. You can be their aunt, uncle, moms and father, and this way you can empower them and you can become iconic immortal beings. They will pray and worship throughout their life. So with this thought, I would like to conclude and thank you for giving me opportunity to share my views, Her Excellency Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth, ma'am. And it was great that I was heard by the community of professor, including our mentor, Dr. TPS, sir. Namaste, sir. It was pleasure and privilege to be speaking in front of you. And we really admire, yes, you can, for the presence of Raghunath Parakkal and Dr. TPS and lot more people who have a lot of respect and harmony in them, and which they are spreading throughout the international community, whether day or night. So thank you once again with this feeling of gratitude. Namaste from India. This is Dr. Tosendra Dwivedi, General Secretary, Yes You Can International. Thank you, Her Excellency Queen. Namaste.